But the problem is they're not a 4-3, they're not a 3-4, they're not a cover 2, they're not a man. They're just it's whoever the offensive head coach wants to bring in to be his defensive coordinator because he has a relationship with him. That's what the defensive scheme's going to be. All these defensive schemes tilt toward we want more. They all want speed.
Yeah.
I mean, I find it comical when people are going, oh, well, he wants fast players. Everybody wants fast players.
I like that, and when every DC says, oh, we're going to be very multiple. Yeah,
yes.
Oh, sure.
Yes.
We're all going to be multiple.
Yeah,
we're going to play downhill. We're going to play with an edge, actually.
Yeah.
We're going to play with an edge.
Yeah.
But there are different size and templates. You know, for example, Dan Quinn wanted tall, angular guys at linebacker and the secondary with wingspan. Wingspan actually factors into how they grade players because he wants long arms, long bodies, disrupting passing lanes. But what happens? Well, you're usually a little undersized in the middle. Some meld it and go, no, you have size in the middle. We'll do size at linebackers and we'll do something, you know. But they just, I would argue, you go in there and you say, what do we want in an offensive player? I think everybody in the Cowboys scouting department and coaching staff, regardless of the coaching staff, will be on the same page. What do we want on the defensive player this position? I think you'll still have a debate on, well, we don't grade a true nose defensive tackle that high because his value is not the same as these other positions. And like, well, but if you don't have it, then what happens to your other positions?
Right.
Where you don't have the run stopper on the end because you're leaning toward the pass rush. So, I mean, I think that's what they have to work through. I think I think if they would have established look, we're going to have changes here, but we're always going to basically have this principle defensively, like you see in Baltimore, like you see in Pittsburgh, some of those teams. I think it'll be a little bit easier to where you wouldn't have these wild swings where I think every team has an offensive or defensive identity by and large, and they're better at it. So whatever you're starting with, you want that to be a top 5 unit, and as long as the other side is about middle of the road, you can probably contend if you're getting the right players. Mm-hmm. But that's the issue with the Cowboys, right? Mm-hmm. They're not middle of the road. 3 of the last 6 years, they have been horrible defensively. They've been at the bottom of the league, and that's just too much of a lift for the offense to make.